Greetings and welcome to my channel, Act 2 Life After 50. My name is Dr. Brene Bradley and I host the content here for mature women. We look at everything that is hopefully inspirational, motivational, informational, educational, or just something of interest for the mature woman. Today, it's the first week in African American History Month here in America, February 2025. And at the time that we're living in right now, regardless to when you see this video, various things have been happening in the political sphere that are impacting African American history in just kind of in general. So there have been great moves by the current administration to remove any kind of realistic, historical perspective, cultural influence of African Americans on the country. Of course, they would say that's not what's going on, but technically that is actually what's happening. And I just wanted to stop a moment and not get political, but get practical in terms of what could be done. If you care about the issue as to whether or not people of color are treated fairly and their contributions are fairly and accurately represented in a historical perspective, then just what might we do? So something happened last night that I found of great interest, and that was the Grammys happened. You know, the musical Grammy Awards. Some of us stopped watching that stuff a long time ago, but it was very interesting because about 2020 or so, a lot of the artists of color started to really kind of protest what they found as being a lack of representation and a lack of transparency in the process of voting for the artistic things that go on in the Grammys. And so they just decided they were, first of all, going to put the Grammys on blast, let everybody know what they thought. And they used various means of social media for that. But they also said, okay, if this is what you all are going to do, we're just not going to show up. We just have the party without us. And so they did that. But after enough pressure to really be more transparent, the Grammys took heed to that and made dramatic differences, dramatic changes. The Grammy voters had been accused of being much older with a specific perspective that may not have been all inclusive. And so they made changes. They added a bunch of new voting seats. And as it turns out, for the 2025 season, they have almost 30% women voters and almost 40% voters of color. This is a drastic change over 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever the case may be. So I like to say that this was a merit-based Grammys because that's what people want. They want to just see, let's just do what's fair. Let's make the playing field even. Let's make things transparent and see what happens. So I thought it was interesting. This is what happened when the Grammys became merit-based. So out of that, so Grammys give out hundreds of awards. But there's like 8 awards that are like the top awards that are given out. Those awards are Album of the Year, Record of the Year, Song of the Year, New Artist of the Year, Best Pop Album, Best Country Album, Best Pop Duo, and Best Music Video. So it's 8 that I would consider. Other people might have a different 8, but those are the coveted prizes for the Grammys. So, this is what happened when they leveled the playing field and when they made the process more transparent. So out of those top 8 awards, 5 of the 8 awards were won by an African American person. 5 of the awards were won by women. So it's a total of 8, but of the 8, 5 were African Americans, 5 were women, and then, of course, that means that there were some African-American women who won. So to just make that, the numbers work out, make the math. But out of those 8, 100% were either an African-American, a person of color, or a female. 100%. And then there's 2 other categories that I didn't include in the top 8. One was the best rap album. The other one was the best Latino album. And of the best rap album, it is interesting because They have been giving out the top rap album for 37 years, and there's only been 3 women to ever win that award. So last night, a woman, her name is Dolce, a young woman, she won that award last night. So we see here is empirical evidence that when the playing field is leveled and the process is transparent, the results are a merit-based system, and with often very diverse, very inclusive, very equitable rewards that go out. So what does that have to do with now in terms of education, historical perspectives, and things like that? So the way I see it is make some noise about it. Just if you're not happy with that, if these are issues that you care about, just make noise. Make noise to anyone. Don't get weary in well-doing. Make noise. Let the people who make decisions know that you're not happy with the decision that they're making. And then if you have a dog in the fight, then go ahead and don't show up where they want you to show up. Don't spend your money where they want you to spend your money, so forth and so on. And continue, of course, to do whatever kinds of political things that you feel are important for you to do. I can't tell you what to do. I'm going to be praying for it, praying that things are, that everybody is treated equal. But the Bible says that faith without works is dead. So I'm going to be doing, I have made up in my mind the things that I'm going to do my Brene protest of things that I think are not fair. And for you, I would say, don't do what I do, but do something. If fair employment is something you care about, do something. Do whatever you can do. If companies that you use to support, and there are a couple of companies, let me just say this, I got a couple of minutes. A couple of the companies that decided that they were not going to have programs to ensure equity and inclusion, so forth. And so I'm not going to use those buzzwords, because when you use buzzwords, it just turns people off. But that they were going to do away with those programs. And a couple of those companies, I spent all my money at those companies. I mean, 2 of them, I'm not going to name who they are, but they get all of my money. I shop at either one or the other of those 2 companies. But I decided that since equity isn't something they care about, so they don't care about my little few dollars, that I just give my money to somebody who cares about what I care about. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not doing it with any group. I'm not taking my action based on what some other people are doing. I just said to myself, I care about these issues. What do I have the power to do? What does Brene have the power to do? So I just went through all of my little mental exercises on what could I actually do and what kind of sacrifices am I willing to make? Because of course it makes things a little bit more difficult or a little bit more costly, because the places that I shop at, I'm a very frugal shopper. So the places that I shop at, I try to shop at the cheapest places I can. And I'm a little bit on the lazy side, so I like to just push buttons on my computer instead of getting in my car driving. Well, all that's over. I'll get in the car and drive. I'll drive around wherever I have to drive around. I'll spend a little bit more money at some of the stores that cost, things might cost me a little bit more money. But that's my reasonable service. That's the least I can do. If I have a problem with something, then I need to just do something. And so that's just what I want to say. So today is Motivational Monday. And I don't know if this motivated you to do something, or at least think about it. If you don't like something, what are you going to do about it? Come up with your own little plan, your own ideas. And let's just see. If everybody does a little bit of something, who knows? We might come up with a merit-based Grammy system if we just all pitch in and do what we can do. Take care. God bless. And have a great African American History Month.